Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Ernie C, the Gap Tooth Genius, and this is episode 178 of Keep Grinding the podcast. I am joined by my friend Scott Smith. He is the head coach of Highland boys basketball, the Scots. This is going to be his 23rd year coaching, his 8th year at Highland. Scott Smith, Smitty, what up?
What's happening, brother?
Bro, appreciate you coming on the podcast, man. I know we just chopped it up like 20 minutes, but let's pretend we didn't do that. And
We really did. We got to play the part right now, man. Be like,
no.
what's up?
No, bro, this is great. I think we haven't talked to you in a while, so it was nice to catch up, bro. But I really wanted to talk about your upcoming season with your squad, man.
Yeah, as always, man. Today was our first day in the gym as far as like official start of practice. And honestly, man, I told the kids today, I was like, today's the first day that like I walked out feeling really good about what it is. And that's what my team like we have a lot of influx coming just because we have so many multi-sport cats, man. Like
Definitely.
I'm probably like I was going through the list today. I might have anywhere from 9 to 30 kids like still out of football.
Definitely, bro.
So like we're and I was going through a list because I was like, man, these kids, this kid may come out, this kid may not come out, and all that other stuff. But I was just looking, I was like, man, 9 to 30. So I mean, that's a lot of kids that we have to kind of plan for, like who we
Definitely,
move
man.
down, who we move up, stuff like that. And some kids may not even come out. They just might be like, hey, I'm done with basketball. But it's I mean, I still love it, man. I still like the excitement of what we're doing. Our kids are going. And I've got a really young group, man. I think at the most I'll have two seniors this year, tops, man. So
No, so the future is bright, sir.
yeah, like hopefully these kids can play. Like, they're going to be young, but hopefully they can play. Like I said, you just don't know till that first game when the lights are on, man. So we'll see.
Just to recap, 2023-24, you won 18-11, bro. 2000 last year was 12-15. This year you're gonna open up your season against Wasco at the Miramonte tournament on the 18th. So that's what, 19 days away, right?
We got Delano
Oh,
the first
Delano, I'm
game,
sorry. Delano at the Miramonte tournament.
Monte tournament.
That's on the 19th. So that's what,
Yep,
20 days away.
yep.
What are you looking forward to, Smitty? Again, this is going to be your 8th year at Highland. This is going to be your 23rd year coaching in total as an assistant head coach slash head coach. What are you looking forward to this year, bro?
This, like I said, this year it's just a different group of kids, man. They're super young, the most youthful talent I've had in the program that
Mhm.
since I've been there. And I've told our kids always, man, it's like, hey, first, let's take care of our side of town, man. And I went through the records the past couple of years, and if you take that east side corridor of like us, East, Miramonte, Harbin, Del Oro, Foothill,
Mhm.
our program the last 2 years is 27-1 at all levels against all them. And our only loss was a frosh off game last year. And I let my frosh off coach know. I was like, man, you're the one out of 27-1. But I said we start with that and then we start having to make more incremental steps because we are in the toughest league in town, man. All five teams made the playoffs last year.
Mhm.
And we're a Division 5 base team. And when you got BHS, BCHS, Ridgeu and Indy in there, man, that's a real gauntlet to go through,
Oh yeah.
especially for a D5 team because those schools are D1 through D3s, man. And
Yeah.
BHS and BCHS, man, they're state ranked, nationally ranked. Indy's always got some dudes, and then Ridgeview, no matter what, man, they always got 12 to 14 seniors, but those kids always got some talented kids that can play, man. So last year we were able to once again keep that streak going with the east side, like, hey, we take care of our side of town. And then it was like, now we need to start getting in some of these wins in league. And sure enough, man, we beat Independence at their place on senior night, which was a huge mark for our program. I don't think we beat Independence. I was looking it up, maybe like, I think it was 11 or 12 years since we beat Independence. And then we
Definitely.
came back on senior night, man, and beat Ridgeview at our place for the first time in 14 years. So we ended two pretty big streaks, man. And I just want to keep that going. It's like, can we stay competitive in our league by the time we're getting ready for playoffs? Because I know you saw that record, it was 12-15, but the teams that we played, I mean, a lot of those losses are against really good teams, man. And I just want to keep that. I just want to keep those dudes going because it's not easy. I mean, we played BHS last year and they were, I remember one time I was just looking at our dudes and they were still going. And we were down, and no lie, we were down 50 points to BHS. And
Yeah.
I looked at my kids, but they were still competitive. They were still going. There was no like quit in them. And I knew we were going to get those last two win, like wherever they were going to come, man, because we had to get 3 wins out of our last 4 games. We ended up getting 3 out of 4 to get
Definitely.
in the playoffs because you have to qualify now. And sure enough, man, our kids came through and they made it to playoffs. And not only that, we had a 12-15 record, but we actually got bumped up to D4. And it's like,
See that. I see
kind of
that.
looked at that. I'm like, man, we're not even 500, and they bumped us up to Division 4. And we played, if I'm not mistaken, I think we were like a 13 or 12 seed. So it wasn't like we were the last team in, but we got bumped up 3 or 4 spots into D4. So
Definitely. And do you feel like, playing that competition you play in your league, Smith, do you feel like that just helps these guys get ready for postseason play and just being you said D5 based team, that's going to prepare you, right? Just for those teams you got to compete against in playoffs.
sometimes it does, and then sometimes it's like there's some really good teams in D5. Like we played it, like even though we got bumped up to 4,
Hmm.
Corcoran, who we played, was a D5 team. And they came out. I mean, they blitzed us. I mean, they had a 6'8", 240 kid. They had a 6'5", 230 kid. There was, I mean, and we were rolled out with our biggest kid at 6 foot, and there was just not a lot we could do. And the 6'8", 240 kid, I mean, he had 2 dunks within the first minute, and our kids we just weren't ready for that. And it was like, and it's not like we don't play those dudes. I mean, you play Ty at BCHS, you play the backcourt at BHS of Sheehy and Dave, and it's just like, man, that's a tough crew to get over. And it's like our kids are ready for that, but like I said, there's some good teams in D5 too, man. So I mean, the one good thing is, yeah, it does get us ready, but we also have to have that fine line of where do we belong, and
Mhm.
that's something for us to find out because in basketball, man, some D1s, some D2s, all the way down to D5s, the schools can really play with each other. And our job for us that we're trying to do, I know you asked it earlier, it's like, I really want to get us into that conversation. It's like, okay, man, we've been meddling here for a while. And it's like, obviously it takes talent. You got to have a lot of talent, but then you got to have the kids that work with it too. And, some other programs around town have been able to do that. They've been able to rise up. And I want us to start taking that next step forward. It's like, stop settling for what average is and start pushing for a little bit more if we can.
And I think the way to do that, right, is that just getting the kids in the gym and just having them, you know, playing to your standard, just applying to, that culture you're set to. Just for coaching with you for a year, that year that we were coaching, just you do have a standard that I think if every kid buys into that, the sky's the limit. Do you agree with that?
Try to. Like I really try to. It's just like, hey man, like I only know one way to work, man, and that's hard. I don't come in and I can't half-ass stuff. I can't show up at 5 and 8 o'clock practice, man. I can't show up at 7:55. I just can't. Like I gotta get there at least 30 minutes early. I gotta have my practice plan ready the night before. Like I gotta have things ready because I gotta give the kids the best, man. If not, then I'm selling them short.
Yes,
And
sir.
I can't do anything that I'm not asking them to do. And it's with the Highland kid, it's a different kid. These kids don't grow up playing basketball in the first and second grade, man. Many of our best players, I mean, everybody knows Lance, man. He won the slam dunk and the 3-point competition 2 years ago. I mean, that too, that guy didn't even play in junior high, and we got him, and we were able to develop him into what he was. Now he's playing JC ball,
Yes,
and
sir.
he's one more year away from making it to a D2 or D3, which that kid, and if you looked at him in junior high, he never would have made it. And that's just what we deal with at Highland. That's the road we take, and that's the road we accept, man. Like, you know, we're not blessed with the most talent that comes in, but our job is to keep building. And this year we're trying to put together like a little feeder program, and our JV coach, Coach Vizzi's trying to put that together, and he's done a pretty good job of starting to get some kids on the east side that want to start
Hmm.
doing that. Whether they're going to a different school or not, it's like that's a different story. But it's like, hey, we're trying to build this up, and like you said, man, prepare these kids for where they need to go because it is going to be tough, man, and you do want to push them to the next limit.
What would you say is the what keeps you motivated? It's been like I said, this is your 23rd year, bro. And this is year number 8, which is crazy because like I said, we not just, we didn't coach it, we as a head coach, we coached together for we were together for 1 year, but
Yeah,
we were together at foothill for a few years too, and that I can't believe it's been that long since 8 years flew by, bro. What
that was
keeps
10 years ago, man. That was a decade ago that we were together
how the hell
back
does
then.
time fly by so fast?
Uh, I don't know if it flies by fast. It just goes, man.
Oh, it does
Time don't
go.
stop for any of us, but
Oh, 100%, man. It just feels like those days weren't too long ago, and it kept like I said, it's 10 years. Like That just I didn't even think about that. Like it
I
just
still
it
remember
happened.
I still remember our playoff game, man. Where were we? Was it Fowler or whatever? Where were we at, man?
No, we were at Kerman, bro.
Kerman, man, and
Kerman, yeah.
that place was cracking
Oh
to the
my
top,
God.
man.
Yeah,
And
bro.
what Turner had 40 something, and the kid for Kerman had like 42, and it was a battle of just like,
OT,
and then
baby. That was
that
OT.
was it, man. That was
Yeah.
it. Once it was over, it was over, and it was like, oh, we all went our different ways, man. It was just, it's such as life, man. Like you're gonna do something and go down a different path.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. And it's been actually even from my departure from the land. I can't believe this will be the fifth year. Like, how is it 5 years already? I feel like it was just yesterday. I feel like I'm still not don't have a grasp of this whole coaching thing. It's a lot, man.
Well, some of us do, man. It's tough. And when you ask that question about what keeps me going, it's like, man, that's all I ever did. When I grew up, man, that's all I ever really was interested in was just sports, man. It drove me. It still is my interest today. And like if it's not family, man, it's sports. Like
Mhm.
I don't sit there and try to do too many other things, man, because it's just everything, man. Like I tell the kids, man, enjoy these bus rides. Enjoy the time that you're messing around before practice. Like you don't get this stuff very often, man. Like there's very good. I mean, it's just like the little memories, man. Like I remember rolling up on bus rides. I remember in college bus ride. I remember that more than games, to be honest with you, man. So that's what keeps me going, and I want to make it memorable for these kids, man. And I know sometimes I can be a little tough on them more than even I think. So it's just like I've had to adapt my coaching style because, you know, I think as you go through this and you get older, you get wiser about how you coach. And I'm like, man, 10 years ago, I would have never coached the way that I do here. I still get on kids very, very tough because life ain't going to be easy for them, man. It's just not.
100%, bro.
And
100%.
especially, and it's like I know we use this thing like, oh, the East Side it's going to make your kids tougher. It's like, dude, wherever any kid comes from, it's tough. But it's just like it's our job as coaches to give them stuff to do in basketball, and it's also our jobs to give them a little bit of life lessons. And I know people keep saying that, but we actually have to live it, man. We have to teach it. And you
Yeah.
can't just like say, "Oh, we're going to do community service one day," and then not follow up on it. It's like that's why every Wednesday, man, we started implementing this a couple of years ago, and we've kind of fallen off, but this year we brought it back. It's like we try to do life Wednesdays, man. Like
Mhm.
what's this going to bring to us? And then we pick a subject. Every coach does something. Like, what is it that you can do? And like, last week our one of my coaches is the math teacher. He started going over if you actually buy a car, how much does that car cost you, and how much will it end up costing you?
Yeah.
And it's like, man, if they can take that one lesson away, that's one more thing that's going to help them become successful, And if they become great at basketball, cool. But I always tell all these kids, man, you're going to be a father, you're going to be a brother, you're going to coach basketball somewhere, sometime, whether it's even at a youth center or whatever. So it's like, man, take
Yeah.
this, put it in the notebooks that we give you, come back, look at it. If you want to alter it, cool. But if not, this gives you a good basis for what you're going to do because what we're doing is no different from some other people. Like, I mean, basketball is basketball, but everybody just puts their own variation on it. What do you want to run? A 2-3, a man, a 1-3-1? Offensively,
Exactly.
what do you want to run? 5 out, 41? I mean, there's just so many
Mhm.
variations of it. And then you start putting really good players in it, man, and they can make a lot of things look good. So
Definitely. No, Smith, you're right, but I think that's something that, we were just talking, we had GB and AJ Sharon on. The game is so much more than just the X's and O's and like what defense you're gonna run, what offense you're gonna run, especially when it comes to young men. And I haven't, it's been a while since I coached young men, but just the youth.
yeah,
What are they gonna take from this program? What do we teach them? We teach them responsibility. And the biggest word I've heard with all the coaches I've interviewed or even talked to, accountability. Like, I think that should be one of the top three things we teach them, besides what position you're playing on the slot or the wing. I think accountability is something that can be taught through basketball.
I agree, man. Like, if I could put a story to it, it's like I just had my 20, like I didn't, it wasn't even a reunion. It was just like some of my college teammates, man. We just all like last month said, hey, let's meet up in Nebraska because that's where I played. I mean, I didn't really play, but I was on the team for 2 years. But I got together with those dudes. I haven't seen some of those dudes in 20 years, and it was like I felt like we had practice the next day. So to like bring everything back to saying like accountability, we talked about it, and I had 18 guys. I think we had 18 guys or 17 guys on that team, and every one of us, man, we all just sat around and said, "Hey, what's this guy doing? What's this guy doing?" Everybody's successful, man, except for one of them,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
he made a bad choice. And I always use this with my team, man. He made a bad choice and went out one night, and he was at a party. He was leaving the party, and he got accused of stealing some stuff. And if you saw this kid, man, I don't even. It even amazes us to this day. The story happens, but what happened is he had a gun on him. He pulled it out, shot it in the air, and it
Hmm.
ended up killing a student athlete at the University of Nebraska. And I tell my kids all the time, like, you have to be accountable because that kid should have never been in that situation. And had he
Definitely.
held himself, and we, as like maybe teammates, we all sit there and think like, what could have happened if had we done something different? But in
Definitely.
reality, if he had been taken care of before, man, like we all would have been 18 of us successful. And now it's like
Mhm.
one of us is living in prison. 17 of us are really successful with what we want to do in life. None of, I mean, some of us could be money makers and stuff like that, but
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
all everybody is definition what you want to do for success. And I thought, man, it's really true what you're saying is like, man, we need to hold kids accountable because nowadays everybody wants to sit there and make an excuse or point a finger as opposed to just saying I'm the problem. Like
Yeah, for
I
sure.
don't understand when coaches get when they lose that they always want to point at kids. It's like, man, look at the staff first. Like, what are we doing? Are we showing up late to practice? Are we opening up the gym enough? Or
Yeah,
look
for
at us first, and then we can start placing blame and all that. But it's just like when you get in behind those walls, like you need to start being accountable even to your own team. And then you need to teach your players to start being accountable to each other because if they're not holding up, man, they need to sit there and tell their teammate why they're not holding their end of the bargain, you know? And that's one thing that in the past couple of weeks, like, sorry, past couple of years, I've really started to stress on our guys a little bit.
And do you have these conversations? I'm sure you do, but just for podcast sake, is this something you have a conversation with your staff? Because I know just the staff means I have currently, it is about accountability. It starts with us. And it's
Mhm.
like, are we doing these drills? I just had this conversation yesterday at our practice. Do these drills have meaning? And if they're not doing it, if these kids are not doing it the right way, we're wasting our time. But that starts with us because we're not enforcing them to do it the right way. Are these continued conversations you have with your staff as well?
Always, man. Like I have to tell my staff all the time. It's like, why are we doing this? Or if there's a certain game or a scrimmage we're at, and we didn't do one thing that's gonna help Highland basketball, why are we doing it?
Definitely,
Like,
bro.
why waste 40 minutes of playing a game just to win it when we're not doing the things that, hey, we didn't run an offense, we didn't set anything up, but all we did was press, trap, and lay it up. Man, that ain't basketball. That's just like that's some stuff we can do in practice. That's some stuff that anybody can do. Yeah. What are you showing? That you're the most athletic team at the point and you can yell a little bit louder, but
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
if your kid doesn't know a flare screen, if he doesn't know a down pick, if he doesn't know how to come off a pick and roll the right way and read the defender, what are we teaching him in basketball? Because that's the ultimate goal is like you want the most IQ knowledge. So when I do go through with it with my staff, it's like I literally try to break it down like this is what I'm looking for. And I need to do better. Like we try to come up with multiple ways of how to do it. Do I create notebooks for y'all? Do we we kind of came up with, hey, let's make a Google sheet
Hmm.
listed from A to Z about the things that we want in our program. This is how we're going to do it. And obviously, some levels can do it more than much. What I mean by that is varsity is going to be a lot different than your frosh soft kids, but it's just like they still need to do it. And you look around programs that are successful in town, they do it through all three levels. They don't just do it through, one of them. And it's like I said, with the one thing with us is those freshman kids that we get, they don't know anything about basketball. They don't know what an elbow is. They don't know what
Definitely, bro.
sometimes they don't even know what the 3-point line means. They just think it's a line. And I'm telling you what, man, we've had some kids out there in the past couple of weeks. It's like, man, they don't know, but it's like, okay, this kid can jump a little bit. I just got to teach them the rules of the game. So it's like, as I sit
Definitely.
down with the staff, and some of my staff gets really, they kind of want to make, hey, let's move on. It's like, no, like it's our job to teach these kids because you know what? That's what we got. So how about sit
Yeah,
down and work it with them, and
definitely.
and you just got to do the best you can at certain things. And some schools don't have to deal with that, and I don't, and that's not their fault. If they get kids that show up that know that stuff, good. Like our thing is we can't right now. Like we have to develop that, and hopefully we start getting some of those kids and making the most of it. So yeah, that's where we're at on that point.
I know you said you can, you have a young squad this year. Um, what players do you think are going to be able to contribute to your season, just help you guys get some wins?
Um, my point guard, Nehemiah Crony, he's the, I think, third or he's the third crony that I've had.
Definitely, for sure.
He's a quiet kid. He's very quiet, but he's starting to come into his own. Like last year, I think he was probably brought up a year faster than we had originally planned, but he stepped into the role. And then we had some kids transfer out of the program this year, and it put the ball in his hand, and I think his confidence grew. I actually think that helped him, and I think
Mhm.
it opened up other spots for other kids. But Nehemiah Crony will be he'll be a really good player for us. And then we have got got a got a big kid, man. This kid plays water polo, but he's like 6'5", 6'6",
Awesome.
and he's played 1 year of basketball, 1 year, and he's a lefty kid. Uh, Believe it or not, Rue called him Lincoln Van Horn because he looks like Keith Van Horn. But this kid's he's gonna be good. Like like I sit there. He came to an open gym. He hadn't been to any practices, and he was playing. He was killing.
That's
Like he
awesome.
was absolutely just killing our varsity kids. And I was like, man, these kids have been practicing for 6, 7 weeks. And it made me reevaluate. I'm like, man, what have I been coaching these kids? I'm like, no, this kid's just this talented, man. So
Definitely.
he'll be all right. And then we have like, I'd say like 4 to 5 guys that are just like, man, if one kid gets going, they'll break out. And I don't want to like, single anybody out, but it's like there's 4 or 5 kids that are in the same kind of realm that if they get going, like I feel that they can become really good players. Hence why I said if we have young talent. I'm just waiting for who's going to become number two, number three, number four. I mean, I have right now I'm varsity. I've got 3 freshmen that I don't know if we're going to keep all 3 freshmen, but Isaac Parr is one of them. Jacob Rowley is another one, and
Mhm.
Jaden Telez. It's 3 freshmen, and it's like I don't want to heap praise on freshmen, but all 3 of them have done their job, and I don't think all 3 will stay with us, but it's like if 2 of these freshmen can stay, it's like once again, there's some 4 year players, some 4 year guys that can play for us. So
No, it's always nice to have 4 year guys on your varsity squad for sure.
yeah.
When it comes to your coaching staff, who do you have on your coaching staff, and what are you looking forward to with your lower levels? What's the goals there?
Um my varsity assistant is Robert Valdez. He's been with us for 7 years. He's my money guy. He filled in for Chad Dials, who, you know, he he went and took that Stockdale football job.
Yep.
And you
Shout out
know,
to
one thing about Highland is we just pump out Kern County football coaches with him and Nick Romero going to East,
Hell
you
yeah,
know,
we sure do.
and it's like I know those guys are going through rough seasons, but man, they'll get it turned around. They just need time.
Oh man, I was just talking to Romero. Like whenever we play them at East, the head coaching job is not an easy thing, bro.
Yeah, it's
It's not an easy
especially when you
job.
take over a school that like hasn't had a ton of success in the past couple of years. It's like it takes time. And I told them all. I said, hey, you guys came through. Our first year at Highland was the same way. It was you got to set stuff down. You got to fix things. You got to do the best you can. And hey, no matter what, sometimes it's just not going to work. But you just got to keep going, man. And you got
It's time,
and it's
man.
tough for everybody involved. But if you keep going through it, I think if you get through that, you can kind of get through anything. And it's been helpful. But yeah, like so, Rob Valdez is coaching. He's coaching with me. He's just the money guy behind the scenes. He takes care of everything. He coaches tennis at our school, teaches math, does a really good job. Coach Vizzy, like I said, Coach Mark Vizcara, he is the head JV coach. Um, Coach Mitchell from Cato, he's actually going to help us out this year. And then on the freshman staff, I got Coach Ware. Him and Coach Vizcara have been coaching 3 years now at those levels. And then we
Awesome.
got a new guy from Emerson too. His name is Coach Ortiz, man.
Awesome.
And so once again, 6 coaches all split up, all got a good area. They've all got some good. What I like is they all have a different dynamic that I don't have. Like some guys are rah rah, some guys are
Mm-hmm.
uh, better with some technical things. Like I'm like I suck with technology, man. I have to go to these dudes all the time. Like, how do I upload this? How do I do that? And they still do it for me, man. It's like so I'm
Sure,
thankful to have those dudes. But
for sure.
end of the day, man, like staffs change every year. Dudes take opportunities, and I've told all my dudes, it's like, hey, if you got a spot that's open for you that you think is going to better you, then you need to do that. All I ask is that you tell me, and
100%.
in turn, I will tell them the same. So it's like I
Yeah.
want them to grow because I'll be honest, I know three of them want to become varsity head coaches, you know, and it's like whether it's the boys or the girls game, they want to become varsity head coaches. One's kind of undecided, like he doesn't know what he wants to do, and then one is he's just cool living what he is, and he's like, hey, if it pops up, it pops up. If not, it not. But those guys are really good. The best thing about him is four of them are on campus, so we can pour into the kids a little bit more than some other staffs can because I know walk-ons, it's tough, man. When you're not on campus every day,
So
it's
tough,
tough to
dude.
have that.
Yeah, I didn't
So
realize
I
that
like
either, man.
I
I
know, man,
did.
like how some of those guys do it, man. Like and they can keep a solid program running, man. It's like even more of a positive to those dudes. So I salute those dudes, man.
No, and you know what? And I'm telling you this because I'm honest. I'm never going to tell you just to tell you so much stuff that year I was with you, man. Just the structure and the way you talk to your staff and the way you kept us involved, like that is something I like. I took little things from everybody. And a lot of I
Yeah,
said, dude, I got that from Smith's program. Like we got to keep everybody involved. We got to keep accountable, and we just got to say we're from triple threat. That was always the basis. Like that's what you always preach. Like, no, you got to be ready to pass, shoot, or dribble. Like, and I never be honest with Smith. I never heard before that, bro. I never. No one put an emphasis on triple threat before I got into your staff. Like,
yeah.
and that continues, and it continues now at Foothill, you know. And I hear it now at BC. We triple threat is like something I'm like, dude. I try to preach that as much as I can. Like the kids got to be in that. But just saying, like I love that. I love the structure of your program and just those little things, bro. Like and you said, like guys want other opportunities that this is the place for them to learn that, bro. And you do a great job at that, I believe.
Appreciate that, man. It's like when EC3 wants to go take over the girls' job at Foothill.
No, man, that was just business, man. I had to do it. You know me,
You
dude.
got to you got to you got you got to kick them out the door and let them know what's up. Something like
Dude,
that.
like that thing, like again, not knowing what I didn't know at the time, it's so hard to be an off-campus coach. I was an off-campus coach when we first started. There was no way I could ever even try to be a lead assistant on varsity or lead assistant on JV for boys or girls, being an off-campus coach. The way I want to utilize and maximize the potential of the program, like it's so hard. Again, kudos to those guys who are able to do that. But it's very hard now, man. Just and from the inside out, like I don't know how guys could do it. And you're right, it's so hard to maintain that from if you're a walk-on coach.
Yeah,
So
you got to be really good at relationships, man. Like I know GB
yeah.
does it at BCHS, and that
Oh
dude is
yeah.
probably like, you know, like I said before, man, like him and the squad at North and the guys at
Mhm.
Miramonte, man, they're probably the dudes I'm the closest with, but they do an excellent job. All four of them, all four programs do an excellent job of like building relationships, man. And it's cool to see. Like you walk into a gym, and the one thing I like about it is their dudes know you, you know their dudes for the most part. Like we may not know everybody in depth, but like
Yeah,
it's just cool to talk with them, chat it up, get ideas, things like that. And always inviting, man. And like I said, the one thing I learned from them is this those dudes are really good at relationships. And it's like I always take it, I'll be honest, man. Every time I'm with around those dudes, it's like I learn a little bit more and I don't care if they're varsity coaches or not. It's like I really like enjoy talking to them because it's just like they give you so much knowledge to keep, improving myself so I can help somebody out or help our program, if that makes sense.
definitely. No, 100%, man. No, I understand 100% what you're saying. Let me get knock this question out before we wrap up. What was the biggest lesson you learned from last year, Smitty?
The biggest lesson I learned from last year, um, that we were going in that honestly, man, there was at times like I didn't know how it was gonna go, but it was like because I think we just struggled. Like I felt in my head we were struggling, but it was like we were on the right path, if that makes sense. I don't know how to say that
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
I think the year before we had won so much. I mean,
Mhm.
at one point the year before that year we won 18 and 11, man. I think we won in the league like 12 and 1.
Yeah.
And obviously, like I said, we just hit league. Like if we go to it sounds weird, but if we go 2-8 or 2-10 in league, it's almost a success for us because of who we play. And last year was just like we were young and we just weren't getting those wins. And there was times we were just like not there. And but it was like I told you that BHS game, man, we're getting it, we're getting it handed to us. And I
Mhm.
just look out there and I don't see any dude ready to mail it in. And I just see everybody's like, I just remember I remember it vividly. And from that point, like I said, we beat Independence and we beat them in overtime. We beat it at Ridgeview. And the lesson I learned from that is, man, you just gotta like keep trusting and believing what you're doing is the right thing. You just
Definitely.
have to, because if you lose that, then you're going to doubt, and then your players won't believe in you, man. Like,
Mhm.
and there was never a moment like I would get in there and give my players bull crap because I don't lie to my kids. Like I tell them, like if you're not good at shooting, stop shooting, work at it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if I explained that well, but it's just like you got to be truthful with your guys. Like if they're not good with left-handed layups, you got to tell them like you're not good at left-handed layups. I know some people use, and I even use it. It's like we're going to use different terminology to get through to certain kids, but the lesson that I learned is like, man, you just got to keep going. And then at the end of the day, how do I keep telling myself to enjoy this? Because like you said, this is my 23rd year, and it feels like it's still my first year, kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah,
But I just enjoy like I get to, I mean, it sounds stupid, and some of you guys say this, but I've heard people say like you get to come in the gym every day, man. You get to enjoy basketball, but then it's also life too. Like that's why I like the game of basketball because it teaches us so much about life. Like you get people from every different culture, race, and religion. You bring them together where
definitely.
no other thing in maybe a rock concert or just any type of concert. That's maybe the only other thing that would bring it. But you're only together for one night in basketball, man. You're together everything that you do. And then, as I tell the guys, man, like it's really a life lesson every single day. Like one day our season is gonna end, and it's literally like a death,
Yes, man.
and when you walk out of that last game, not many people get to win their last game ever, and when you lose that last game, and I say it is like a death, and it kind of prepares you because if you've lost somebody, it's like this is what it feels like a little bit because you wake up the next morning still hurt, you
Yep.
wake up the
Yep.
next day still hurt, and it's still kind of just, I mean, every single one of us that's coached can probably sit there and think of a loss that happened 10, 15, 20 years ago that still just stings in them, man. So,
Definitely, bro.
and then on the high point, it's like, hey, man, you get a lot of people that a lot of good things happen to, and you're so happy for them because you played a small part in it. And it's not like, oh, you want it for the ego, but it's like, hey, man, like if I didn't push them to get there, I don't think they would have got that. Like, I really believe that. So,
No, 100%, bro. No, I love that, man. I think that's I tell the kids this is a train station, but damn, I want to enjoy the ride as much as I can. I talked
it's
to
very,
some of our seniors today. I kind of sat back and just like, I'm not gonna be able to do this in 6 months. Like, just chat with them,
yeah,
and just kind of talk about life and what they want to do for college, and their birthdays are coming up, and they're talking about, I want to do this. This costs this much, and again, this. Well, you know how much you want to go work at that place. Have you ever done the taxes on that? Like, what the economy look. Just talking to them and just telling them like, it's like, man, I want to miss this in 6 months when you guys aren't here, and unfortunately, I'm gonna go through this again in 18 months because it's a train station. It's just what it is, and.
crazy how much they don't know that we think they do know,
Yeah,
even
definitely.
about life. You're
Damn.
like we did something 2 years ago. We had kids write letters. We had them literally physically write letters, and then they had to address it. And I think out of a team of 14, like 12 of our dudes didn't even know how to write a letter, like to who in the return address. And it was like
Definitely.
they were just caught off guard with it. And I'm like, I'm just sitting there with my coaches. I'm like, dude, what in the hell are we learning here, man? Like that these
Definitely.
kids don't know it. But then it taught us, it's like at our age, we know it, we understand it, we think it, but these kids don't. Um,
Definitely, bro.
and then on the other end, what can they teach us? Like, I know we always sit there and tell them about, oh, the TikTok generation, but it's like those kids could probably teach us some stuff that they learned, or a TikTok video that might help enhance your program a little bit, So that's kind of what I try to take of it. It's like, okay, I can add some stuff to them. What are they adding to my life? And it's the truth, man. It's like every year you get to meet 14, 15 new kids on your team. And then if you're in charge of your program, like myself, it's like there's 45 to 60 people you're in charge of, and they're all looking at you no matter what.
Yes, they are.
Moment of crisis or moment of joyness, man, they're all looking at you, and you got to make a decision, and that's why you're in that seat, and you got to be ready for it, you got to be prepared for it, and you're not always going to be ready or prepared for it, but you got to make your best decision, and some of them aren't easy, man. You got to have some very difficult decisions to make, and I think we're all going through it right now. It's like, yeah, this is, for most schools, it's tryouts period. Like some people might have their teams picked, some don't, but it's like you're gonna have to break some kid's dream. And like we've all been through it. Like we've either been cut or we've either been told at some time our time is up. So it's like you gotta have some empathy for these kids, man, and what they're going through because it sucks. We're gonna have to probably tell 20 kids that their dream of this year playing basketball is done, and it's like
And
that's
again,
a heavy
it's
burden, man.
and like you said too, like that's a heavy burden. But I guess on the other side of it's like, man, some schools don't have that problem because they don't have enough kids coming out to their sport, you know?
Yeah,
We just talked. I think we're gonna have, and let me just emphasize at Foothill, not BC. At Foothill, we're gonna have to probably cut some kids this year. It's like we've never had that in the last 4 years, but that's just so much. It's grown, and it's
it's
like
growing, man.
it's a good problem to have. But again, we don't want to break kids' dreams, and we're double checking how many jerseys we have on Frost Off. We really have 15, or do we have 17? Like,
Yeah,
because that matters too. If we had two more jerseys, or how many team managers can we keep? Are they able to travel with us? And again, we got to think too, like, okay, why not keep 17? Because maybe four are going to fall off, no matter if they make the
yep.
team or not. And no, it's a good problem to have in a weird way. But then, like you said, we don't want it breaking kids' dreams. And not all of them are going to be Jordan, where, hey, I get cut from my team. And then next year I'm going to come back and just be the best player on the team.
Yeah.
Those things don't happen every year. That's those are generational things. And no, it's crazy, man. It's people don't really again, I'm glad that we have these conversations on this pod because people don't really understand what it goes through, what we go through, like as a coach. Like it sucks cutting kids. It sucks doing that, but damn, we have the kids to do that. It's hard
It's
to
the
get.
worst part.
Yeah,
Worst
man,
part of the job, man. Worst part of the job having to cut a kid.
for sure, man.
Like
Um,
there's like you can take a loss, but man, cutting a kid, it's like, dude, you just know it when you tell them to. Even if they don't love basketball, it's just telling them, man. It's like, man, it breaks your heart and and not only that, it's like you go through what that kid goes through. Like they have to walk outside and tell their parent or adult that,
definitely.
dude, it's over. So
Last question before we head out, man.
dessert.
How do you make your practices embody the likeness and competitiveness of a game?
Um,
Because that's something that, as coaches, boys, girls, doesn't matter if it's JV Frost off college. How do we get these kids to play and compete against each other as if during the game when that opponent is giving they want that dub. They're going 100%. They're making them uncomfortable. How do we strive to do that in our practices?
I I would say mine is ever evolving. Like I try to pick something from everybody. Like I already told you, the dudes around town, and then like probably Coach Bird at Frontier. Like those are guys that when I go to their practices or I just talk to them, I try to ever evolve that in my practice and try to put it into my own things. Like I know some coaches, everything is a win loss.
Definitely.
Everything is a win loss. And in my situation, it's like if everything's a win loss, like I got kids who don't even know how to dribble. Like, do I really make them lose for not knowing how to dribble? Like when we
Mhm.
first get them as a freshman. So it's like you got to build up some confidence. So like really what we try to do is just like, hey, this is what we're trying to get to. Like, do we know what competition looks like? Do we know what competitiveness looks like in a one versus one setting, a two versus two setting? And then do you know what you're doing? Or are you just throwing it up there and being, I don't know, how do you say, are you just being a playground god? You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly, exactly.
um yeah, like I'm ever evolving, man, because I remember when I was the head coach at Miramonte, and this sounds crazy. I don't think we ever went 5-on-5. Like I don't think we ever did. It was always me just teaching schematics, but then doing it in a half court setting. And like I've evolved since then, but now it's like now I've went to more 5-on-5, 3-on-3, and then just giving them you hear this stuff called constraints approach, and I've tried to do some of that stuff. Yeah, that CLA stuff. And it's just,
Mhm.
you got to make the kids think a little bit more. And like I said, it's ever evolving. I know the other coaches that have been on here have said the same thing. It's like, if you're the same guy you were 2 years ago, it's not like the worst thing, but it's just like you haven't evolved in life because the kids that you have, like we just said it, every team is different, man. Like my team next year is going to be different. My team this year is different than we were last year. So it's like, why would we run the same shit over and over and over again, man? So it's like we need to get better at that. And like if I could put it in the one, if I could put it into one kind of rap about it, it's like, yeah, it's ever evolving, man. So
No, it is, and it just I just even going to a couple practices at different spots. It's like that's always been the question. And it's how do we
what do
do
they
it?
what do they come back to you with, man? Like
Man,
what's the biggest number one you've come back with?
The biggest number one, you got to make them compete. You got to there has to be and we're wrestling guys, right? There has to be stakes. What are the stakes? A lot of guys go starters versus bench. Um, People love doing sevens and free throws, or if they don't, they like to compete in free throws. They like to compete. It's just like I said, some guys don't go 5-on-5. I know I've been to some practices where they don't ever go 5-on-5, and but how do we make them compete? One-on-one drills, close out. I, I'm not a fan of that, but it's just a riddle, man. I think it's something that we're all kind of striving to figure out in a weird way. And some guys have it down, like you said. Some of the coaches we talk to have it down. And there's some coaches who just don't have it figured out yet because it's not. And maybe, like you said, maybe it's just a self-reflection on us as coaches or as staff. But when the kids, especially when, how do I say this? Especially when the kids like each other and they know, hey, we're gonna be friends after this. It's like, no, dude, you should, because that person wants to take your minutes.
Yeah,
And I don't, that's kind of just the reality of it. Like, if you don't beat her or beat him, they're gonna take your spot, and you're gonna sit right here next to this coach, and you can watch the game. Like, some kids have it, some kids don't care about that, and that's cool. They want to be a part of, like I said, we have life skills here, and they just want to be a part of the program, and they want to be included in something. And some kids don't want to be home. I get that 100%,
yeah.
Not
And we
everybody.
have to, you got to accept that sometimes, man. Like, is like this is the reason that kid is here. You don't have to accept them being there for that reason, but you have to accept that's why they're there. And it's like,
They just want to be a
you know,
part of something, bro.
yeah. And I'll be honest, that's the battle a lot of coaches fight. It's like this kid's really talented, but they could care less about basketball.
Yeah, man. And then it's like, some of them, I've had a conversation with, even some of the boys do, like, I'm not going to play college, so why do I care? It's like, but that's not always the end game, bro. Like, you can learn so many life skills with this game. And but I'm sure this is a riddle that's been going on for years, it's just, I'm diving into it more now that I'm just kind of I'll pick everybody's brain that I have on this pod. And that's just kind of the riddle. I want to see what we all think.
Some dudes, that's part of their culture. They just inbreed it. Like stick it in, man, and they get it. The kids get it. It's been brought up. Like you walk into our freshman practice, some of those kids like have never bodied
Yeah.
anybody up ever.
Definitely,
And
definitely.
it's like hands up at all times. Like
Yeah.
it's like I don't want to get dirty, but then as you get older, man, it's like you get to that varsity level, dudes are diving on the floor, punching each other, like
Yeah, for
in
sure.
in you'll never hear this on other people's podcasts, but it's like kids are going to fight at practice, man. They are going to fight at practice, and it's like it's not a negative thing. It's a healthy thing at times because it's like if you're breeding that competition, like you're literally telling that person it's you or them, and who do you want to win? And it's like some kids accept that and some kids don't, and some that's why some people become champions and some don't. Like some just want it more, man. And it's like I have to tell my kids that all the time. It's like, hey, do you want it to be you or do you want it to be them wearing that medal at the end of the game? Do you want to walk out with the scoreboard up or if it's a 50-50 ball and it's a tie game and there's 10 seconds left, who do you want to get that ball? Is it you or them?
Hmm.
And you don't want to skin up your knee because you think it might look bad for prom or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
Man, dude, yeah, 100%, man. 100%, Smitty. Well, brother, like I said, man, you start on November 19th against Delano at the Miramonte tournament. We're really looking forward to another great year at Highland High, bro, and I will definitely be rooting for you. Hope I catch some more games. I have some free time, and I want to catch some games with all you guys that just show some love on the pod, bro. And I really, really appreciate you coming on. I know it's late. It's 10:13, p.m. Appreciate you coming on. I know it's late, but
the hours, man. You know how it is. It's the hours.
yeah, no, man. And I appreciate you just making some time for the podcast, bro. And let's get together soon, man. Best of luck
Yes,
this
sir.
season. That's
You
good.
you as well at BC, man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man. I really love it. We have our first game tomorrow. Oh man, we're going to Riverside tomorrow.
How long? How long is
Um,
that, man?
we gotta be there.
2 hours?
Yeah, we'll be there. We play at 1 o'clock. We leave at 6:45 a.m.
The question is, are you going to be on that bench down there? That's
I'm gonna be out there on that. I'm gonna be on that baseline, try to make sure I get this game-winning shot we're gonna hit tomorrow.
okay. I can take that, man. Well,
Yeah, see what happens.
best to you and the girls tomorrow, man. I didn't even know JC was starting tomorrow. That's how crazy it is, man. But I should know.
I
I
just,
mean,
what I think this is the opportunity to be a vessel for these East Side kids, the Highlands and the Miramontes and the Foothills and the East. I don't know how many are, especially on this girl side at least, How many are gonna play BC basketball? Don't know, but at least my head coach doesn't have to be at two spots at one time now, and I can contribute. You know me, I just want to contribute. I'm at the point I just want to contribute to a staff, and if I can pull double duty, I'm blessed to do that too. I can still learn. I can learn from Selby. I can learn from Grant, and if the wife's happy with it too, as long as I'm home where I need to be home, I'm gonna roll with it, man. I love the game. I love the
Got you
game.
there, man.
All right,
Got you
Smitty.
there, brother.
Yes, sir. Episode 178. This is Keep Grinding the Podcast. Scott Smith, Highland High. Scott's Ernie C, the Gap Tooth Genius, and we out.
All right, man.